Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'm offering my unlimited Dandavat Pranams and my Shraddha Pushpanjali at the lotus feet of my most beloved, worshipable Gurudev Nitya Lila, Pravishtom Vishnupad Paramahansa, Ashto Tarashata, Sri Srila, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Anta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. So, this Amrita Bazar Patrika, right? This Amrita Bazar Patrika, it was one of the main newspapers of that time through which the people were expressing themselves in forth. So many political situations were being addressed by them. So Bhakti Kamal Madhusudan Maharaj was he and a number of other reporters, they once went to the Bagh Bazar, Gaudiya Math, because that's in Calcutta. That was the biggest palatial mutt that was built by the donation of a very wealthy man who became the disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Still there now, and the Bagh Bazar is the location in Calcutta. So they went there. He and a number of other reporters once went to the Bagh Bazar Gaudiya Math to cover the Sat Shiksha Pradarshini exhibition organized by Srila Prabhupada. Sat Shiksha Pradarshini. And what that exhibition was, is through a series of dioramas, the exhibition exposed various corrupt practices prevalent in the Gaudiya Vaishnava community, all the Apasampradayas and so forth. Such practices including shelling peanuts with worshipful Shalagram Shilas, or demanding money for the darshan of deities, or making of Srimad Bhagavatam and the bestowal of mantras, or the consuming of meat and wine by brahmanas, and the shameless associating with women by Babajis who have accepted the external dress of a renunciate. So Sri Nripendra Sanyal was naturally inclined to gain as much knowledge as possible, and so he posed many questions to the devotees present. Observing his inquisitiveness, the devotees took him to their Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur. And it was then that Sri Nripendra Sanyal met Srila Prabhupada for the first time. And he received the opportunity to hear from his lotus mouth the pure concepts of the Gaudiya line regarding Bhagavat Dharma, Bhagavat Parampara, and the inseparable connection between the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas. The way in which Srimad Mahaprabhu arranged for each personality to come to Srila Prabhupada is an amazing affair. So Sri Nripendra Sanyal was so thoroughly impressed by Srila Prabhupada's fearlessness that whenever the opportunity arose, he would visit the mutt to hear Harikatha and Kirtan. He deeply contemplated the significance of sadhu sangha, the true purpose of human life, and the glories of a bona fide spiritual lineage, and many other important subjects. So after careful introspection, Sri Nripendra Sanyal decided, I will take shelter of this great personality's lotus feet and become his most insignificant servant. I will try to understand his true internal moods and dedicate my life to the auspicious work he has begun. he was profoundly impacted by Srila Prabhupada's decision to dedicate his life to undertaking such a grave responsibilities. He was profoundly impacted by Srila Prabhupada's decision to dedicate his life to undertaking such grave responsibilities. Shortly after, he revealed his heart to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada and Mantra Diksha, and gave him the name Sri Narottammananda Brahmachari. Gaur Premanand. Now, the next section is titled Serving in Separation. Sri Narottammananda Brahmachari was a skilled reporter and especially proficient in English. And upon observing his attentiveness and his ability to eloquently repeat whatever he heard, Srila Prabhupada sent him along with other sannyasis and brahmacharis to preach in Mumbai under the guidance of Sri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj. There, Sri M.P. Engineer, who was the chairman of the Theosophical Society and later who was the first Advocate General of independent India, he invited the Gaudiya Math preachers to speak at one of the society's gatherings, this Theosophical Society. He was greatly inspired by Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj's lecture, as well as by the kirtan, conduct, and convictions of the devotees. Srila Prabhupada visited Mumbai. Sri M.P. Engineer, that's actually his name, Engineer. Sri M.P. Engineer requested him to establish a Gaudiya Math branch there. Before offering a reply, Srila Prabhupada asked Sri Narottammananda Brahmachari, "Would you feel inconvenienced if I were to assign you the responsibility of preaching in Mumbai?" And in reply, Sri Narottammananda Brahmachari quoted a kirtan composed by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Here's what he quoted. Tomar sevai dukkha hoy jato seto paramasuka. Seva sukha dukkha paramasampad nashaye avidya dukkha. This is from his songbook, Atmanivedana. Whatever distress that I may experience in the course of serving you is actually the greatest of joys, Paramasukha. The pains and the pleasures of serving you are the greatest wealth, for they destroy the misery of avidya, ignorance. You know, this is from the song called Atmanivedana in the songbook of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. We have it in our songbook. And this is a very significant point. Here Srila Prabhupada is asking his disciple, would you feel inconvenienced if I placed you here in charge of this Mumbai Gaudiya Math preaching? And then he answered this to his guru. Inconvenience? Whatever distress I may experience in the course of serving you is actually my greatest of joys. And the pains and the pleasures of serving you, whether it's pain or pleasure, they are my greatest wealth. They are my greatest sampada, wealth. Why? Because nashaye avidya dukkha. Both of these, both serving you and also distress in the course of serving you, they both have the same effect. They destroy Understand this point? This is called surrender. This is called Atmanivedana, full surrender. Not just some mediocre little, oh Gurudev, I'll serve you because I feel so much happiness. But when you don't, then you give up that service. This is not surrender. That unhappiness, that suffering devotee like me, derives the greatest amount of spiritual benefit in the direct association of Sri Guru, but still, I am convinced that you will not deprive me of that same benefit if I obey your instruction to serve you from a distance. Tell me what he just said. Very important. What did he just say?
I can't give the exact words, but I can say my best.
What he meant.
He said that even though the Kanishta Adhikar disciple gains the most benefit in the direct presence of Sri Guru,
in his personal association.
I have to serve Sri Guru from a distance. I am fully convinced that he will not deprive me of...
Not he, you. Oh, Gurudev, he's speaking to his Guru.
Yeah, that's what
yes,
I meant.
Okay.
I am fully convinced that Sri
You,
Shri Guru, in this case Saraswati Thakur, will not deprive me of that same benefit.
Yes. If I obey your instruction to serve you from a distance. Yes.
It will be the same.
It
will be the same.
Yes, he's convinced he will not be a loser. He will not be a loser. Because Sri Guru is all powerful. If one pleases Sri Guru, what kind of benefit will one receive? Very powerful. And that pleasing of Sri Guru can be attained by following his instruction, fulfilling his desire, not your own, his desire. So according to Srila Prabhupada's instructions and guidance, Sri Narottam Brahmachari preached all over Mumbai. While he was there, Srila Prabhupada mercifully blessed him by sending him a set of Srimad Bhagavatam's 12 cantos inscribed with the name Narottam Brahmachari. Can you imagine? You know how rare it was in those days to have actual full set of Srimad Bhagavatams printed in those days and then inscribed with his own name by his own spiritual master. What a gift. So when Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj used to recall this instance, he would say, I considered Srila Prabhupada's gift as an instruction to preoccupy myself with the practice and the preaching of Sri Bhagavad Dharma. Not, oh, such a nice, beautiful set. I'll keep them there on the shelf and always look at them.
My treasure.
Yes. The next section is called the Lotus of Devotion. Sri Narottam Brahmachari would deliver exceptionally sweet sermons on Srimad Bhagavatam, explaining every subject with sound reasoning and in no uncertain terms. Srila Prabhupada kept a complete record of his disciples' preaching activities, all of his disciples. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta kept a record, a complete record of all of his disciples' preaching activities. So being highly pleased by the enthusiasm and the expertise with which Sri Narottammananda Brahmachari preached Bhagavad Dharma, he thus conferred upon him a Sri Gaura Ashirvad certificate. You know what Gaura Ashirvad means? Ashirvad means blessings. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had a system of conferring blessings in a formal fashion by giving even a certificate, and then he would give a title to his disciples according to what they had achieved. This Gaur Ashirvad certificate, Blessings of Gauranga, he gave him the title Bhakti Kamala. That title, Bhakti Kamala, was given to him, which means the lotus of devotion. Sri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj honored this title when he awarded Sri Narottammananda Brahmachari with sannyas and gave him the name Bhakti Kamala Madhusudan Maharaj. You know, actually, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj also, the name that our Prabhupada had already been given in the same way by his extraordinary activities of writing and preaching the philosophy. Even when he was a householder, he was given the title Bhaktivedanta. His name was Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta. And when he began to write different articles and so forth, he would shorten that to A.C. Bhaktivedanta. And then when he took sannyas from Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, who gave him the sannyasi name and title, Bhaktivedanta Swami, because Swami is one of the sannyas names, of the 108 sannyas names. So then our Srila Prabhupada, he continued because of his authoring various articles and so forth, he decided that he would keep the initials AC for his Abhay Charanaravinda, Bhaktivedanta Swami, AC Bhaktivedanta Swami. So he also received this title after the disappearance of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati from the Vaishnava community of elevated Vaishnavas, and specifically Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. He was the one that decided, you know why? Very interesting. Very interesting. That when the Vaishnavas were deciding to give him a title, you know what title they were about to give him? They had decided, oh, we should give him such and such a title. What? Bhaktisiddhanta? Yes, Bhaktisiddhanta. They were going to give him the title Bhaktisiddhanta. And then Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj said, no, I think it is more appropriate, Bhaktivedanta. So actually, our Prabhupada received the title Bhaktivedanta from Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. And then later, Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, who had taken sannyas from Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he honored that and gave him that title. So, okay. Now the next section is called The Fruit of His Invaluable Preaching Service. Initially, after Srila Prabhupada's departure, Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Sri Srimad Bhakti Kamala Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, and Sri Srimad Bhakti Alok Paramahansa Maharaj, together, they joined together and they preached the message of Srila Prabhupada under the banner of the Sri Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, which was an organization that they founded. Srila Keshava Goswami Maharaj would accept disciples, and Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj and Srila Paramahansa Maharaj would preach under his guidance. It was by the preaching and the association of Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj that Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj obtained two prominent and invaluable jewels. Guess who these jewels are? Sri Radhanath Vanachari and Sri Gaur Narayan Vanachari, later known as Sri Bhaktivedanta Trivikram Maharaj and Sri Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, respectively. By Madhusudan Maharaj's preaching, these two jewels came. So this contribution of his will forever remain embedded in golden letters in the chronicles of the Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnavas Gaur Premanandi. Now, the next section is told, acquiring the land for his Mayapur Mutt. Later, when differences arose among the prominent members of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, then Guru Maharaj means who? Yes, Bhakti Dayata Goswami Maharaj, because Srila Bharati Maharaj, whenever he's writing and he refers to Guru Maharaj, that means his Guru, Bhakti Dayata Goswami Maharaj. So when the differences arose among the prominent members of the Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti, then Guru Maharaj was called to reconcile those differences and to resolve the situation. After hearing each of their views, then Guru Maharaj concluded, Sri Keshav Maharaj, quote, Sri Keshav Maharaj has many renounced disciples, and therefore it is better that Sri Devananda Gaudiya Mutt remains with him. Sri Madhusudan Maharaj should continue preaching from the Mutt in Bardhaman, and later I will personally assist him in acquiring a plot of land in Mayapur and building a Mutt there. See, this is one of the things about Srila Bhakti Dayata Goswami Maharaj. I mean, you got to read his book. Oh my God. Oh my God. What's it called? Volcanic energy, right? What a personality. Oh, Krishna. So anyway, here he's now telling, he's settling the situation. Okay, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kesha, you should stay here. You should preach from here. And then I will, with Madhusudan Maharaj in Vardhaman, I'll personally assist him in acquiring a plot of land in Mayapur and building a mutt there. You know how many plots of land and mutts he built? Such amazing volcanic energy. So Sri Paramahansa Maharaj, then he's continuing to settle the whole situation. Sri Paramahansa Maharaj should be given a sufficient amount of funds so that he can purchase land in Mayapur and continue his services most suitably. So the solution that Guru Maharaj proposed was readily accepted by all parties involved. And soon after, Guru Maharaj inspired a lady devotee, Srimati Padmanabha, who was a disciple of Srila Keshav Goswami Maharaj, who had taken up the path of bhakti after he from Srila Maharaj. So Guru Maharaj inspired her to acquire land in Sridham Mayapur for Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. And true to his word, personally, he assisted in the construction of Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj's mutt to the furthest extent possible. Next section is called A Unique Perspective on Prasad. During the deity installation festival at Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mutt, a very special view concerning the Prasad. Upon observing that the deity's bhog offering would be delayed due to Srila Puri Goswami Maharaj's advanced age and his commitment to perfection, Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj told me, Quickly prepare Thakurji's offering plate and keep it inside the altar room so that Sri Puri Maharaj can make the bhog offering when it is convenient for him. The Vaishnavas who are assembled here today have come from various places, and they have other services to perform elsewhere. I do not want to make them wait too long. I am certain that they would like to return to their respective homes and ashrams quickly. Once the first portion of bhog has been kept aside for Thakurji, I will begin distributing the prasad Vaishnavas. Then Srila Maharaj, Madhusudan Maharaj, explained, I do not subscribe to the idea that prasad is not to be considered prasad until all the preparations from Thakurji's plate have been mixed back in with the respective receptacles from which they came. I believe that in special circumstances, there is no fault in distributing prasad to the Vaishnavas once the first portion of bhog has been set aside and taken into the deity room for offering. There is even no need to wait until the pujari has brought the bhoga offering out from the deity room. On occasions such as this, the auspicious installation of Bhagavan's deity form, there is bound to be delay. But as Vaishnavas are the objects of our service, we should not make them wait. Therefore, apart from those who want to observe the new deity's bhog offering and bhog artik, it is that the devotees be punctually served prasad. And once the bhog offerings were brought into the deity room, Srila Maharaj instructed a few devotees to distribute prasad. That was the first time in my life that I saw prasad being distributed immediately after Thakurji's plate had been prepared and before the actual offering was made. Yes.
Timeless.
What?
Timeless.
Time what?
Timeless.
Well, what's the main consideration here? What is the main consideration in this decision?
Vaishnavas needed to be served.
Yes. And why?
Because otherwise they would have been disturbed by having to wait, maybe, and possibly caused some problem in their lives, distress.
Because this is a special occasion. This is the installation of their Thakurji. Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvi Vigiradani Shri Radha Govinda Ji. It's not that any time this can be done, but this was a decision according to the time, the place, and the circumstance. That this is a grand festival. The devotees want to observe, but if they're kept waiting, because Srila Puri Maharaj is very elderly, it would take him time and all of that. He wanted that the prasad should be distributed, that Madhusudan Maharaj wanted in the installation of his own Thakurji in his temple. A grand festival. So many gurus and acharyas and great Vaishnavas were there. And to keep them waiting, certainly Thakurji will accept this arrangement. Certainly. See, because Vaishnava Seva. And the Vaishnavas are very dear to the Lord. So that also shows how merciful is the Lord, that he will accept like this, you see. Now the next section is called his exemplary compliance with senior Vaishnavas. Exemplary compliance with senior Vaishnavas. So during the manifest presence of Srila Prabhupada, then Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj remained under the direct guidance of his Gurudev while he was present. Srila Prabhupada's disappearance, he served under the guidance of his senior god brother, Sri Srimad Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, and then later on, another senior god brother, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, who also awarded him sannyas. He would always consult his god brothers, and he would receive their permission before proceeding with any service. In this way, he substantiated the principle that Vaishnava Dharma is to be observed while remaining under the guidance of senior devotees, and that one cannot become steadfast in Vaishnava Dharma while remaining independent and unrestrained. Got that? Huh? Did we just hear a whoosh? So why is this principle? Why? What is the meaning behind this exemplary behavior of Sri Bhakti Kamala Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj? Vaishnava Dharma. What is the Dharma of a Vaishnava? Vaishnavas, they always want to be under guidance, not independent, unrestrained, do my own thing. Remember that nice little couplet from the hippie era in America?
Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at all. Remember that? Hey, do your own thing, man. Do your own thing. Whatever your thing is, just do it. As long as you don't hurt somebody else. What about hurting yourself? They never say that. Because do your own thing means unrestrained, completely animalistic sense gratification. Whatever you think, whatever's your thing. Whatever's your thing. I'll tell a little joke. I told the story of how I became a devotee, and then I think you've heard, and how I was hitchhiking all the way back from the East Coast with a friend a little bit younger than me, and I had already made up my mind that as soon as I reached my home city, my hometown, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, that I was going to leave home and join the Hare Krishna devotees in Detroit. And I'd been gone hitchhiking for about a month, you know, and my friend was getting a little irritated because I had changed so much, because I was chanting constantly on my beads that I got from the devotees, and I was reading the Bhagavad Gita, and then all the way back from the East Coast, whatever car we would come in, I'd be talking to them about the philosophy, you know, and like he was getting irritated because he wasn't into becoming a devotee of Krishna, right? And shaving his head, especially shaving his head, right? So then when we arrived in our city, we climbed up the hill because we were on the main freeway, and you know we can't legally. They just dropped us off on the side of it, and we climbed up the hill, and there was a phone box. And so from that phone box, my friend called his sister and a few of our friends, and they all came and picked us up in their car. The first thing they said was, he said to, you know, and the others, oh, you know what? Jeff here, he's going to join the Hare Krishnas. and the response from them was, you are? You mean those people who shave their heads? You're going to shave your head? I said, well, yeah, I'm gonna, hair grows back, and yeah, I'm gonna do that. I said, oh, okay, if it's your thing, man. And guess what? It became my thing.
That's awesome.
For the last 50 years, it's been my thing.
Right.
It's your thing today.
So, we should remain under guidance. being independent is not good for the Vaishnavas. We should consider ourselves extremely fortunate if we have senior learned Vaishnavas who we can associate with and receive guidance from. This has always been the main purpose of my life. And that's why I have 3 exalted Mahabhagavad Vaishnava gurus in my life. Because I wanted this always. So, Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj is such an exalted personality, he could easily, he's even starting his own mutt, right? But nevertheless, he always consulted with his senior godbrothers, received their direction, their advice. But nowadays, there's a very big disease of disregard for the seniors who are learned, who have demonstrated in their lives their absolute surrender to Guru, and not even desiring to hear Harikatha from them. What to speak of following their instructions in their life. So this is not healthy, is not Vaishnava Dharma. To be in the best position in our life, we should always have personalities whom we can consult with, okay? Who are superior to ourselves, not just our buddies, equals, but seniors that we can consult with. This will be very fortunate for us. Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, he's talking about the land of gurus in his book, Sri Guru and His Grace. How many of you have read that book? Oh, very good, very good. You all must read this book.
I need to read it again.
Oh, you must read it for the next 40 years of your life. So, there he's talked about the land of gurus. This is the title of a chapter. The land of gurus. Remember that? The land of gurus. So here, he says in his book, he says that in the beginning of our spiritual life, and we come under the shelter of bona fide Sri Guru, then we develop our moods of surrender and service to Sri Guru. We honor Sri Guru and we try our best to serve Guru. But mainly, we only recognize our Guru because in the Kanishta level, generally, the Kanishta is able to recognize Krishna, the presence of divinity, in Guru Tattva. This is the first step in spiritual life. But to recognize Guru in others. Particular mentality of those in the neophyte condition, which is acceptable for their level. But then Srila Sri, as we will make spiritual advancement and we will progress and our realizations will improve, then the phenomena that will happen is that we will begin to recognize Guru in others as well. You know, like when a little baby is born, that little baby immediately is put on the mother's breast, and from that moment on, that little baby begins to feel comforted by his mother, and then the father also comes into the picture and so forth. But you notice that in little babies or in even when a stranger comes, that they immediately become frightened, you know, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Or they even start crying. Like you'll come and you're a new face, the baby hasn't seen, and you go, ah, you know?
Yes, that's right.
So, because of being such undeveloped, so this is natural, normal. As soon as you give to the mother, immediately they stop crying. So in the same way, the neophyte devotees, they have developed their vision of divinity to the point where now they can recognize Sri Guru as manifestation of Krishna who has come to save me. But their vision is somewhat limited to Sri Guru of my own Guru. But they don't feel and recognize so much in others, in other Vaishnavas and so forth, you see. So, Srila Sridhar Maharaj said that as one advances and develops, then what will happen is they'll begin to see that Guru is also here in this personality. And the principle of Guru Tattva is also here. And Guru Tattva is here. And they'll begin to be able to detect and experience the Guru principle in others. And that recognition and vision of the Guru Tattva principle will not stop. That Guru Tattva principle will continue to expand. Up until the point where finally we attain our spiritual perfection by gradually progressing and attaining Krishna prema. And we actually are transported to Goloka Vrindavan, Bhoma Lila, Krishna's Lila within this world. Then Srila Sridhar Maharaj says, at that stage, now the Guru Tattva principle becomes all-pervading. And he says, at that point, you will enter into the land of Gurus, where everyone there and everything there is superior to yourself, and they are your Gurus. Your Gurus, because they are drawing you towards Krishna and serving Krishna. They are Guru. The land of Gurus, he said. And he said, we become more and more fortunate the more that we are able to recognize Guru and that we have many Gurus. You see? So, the Guru principle, any superior Vaishnava is also a Siksha Guru for us. Especially, I was saying before that the God brothers of the spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada wrote this, they are automatically to be considered almost on the same level and worshipped almost on the same level as the spiritual master. Of course, we're talking about very advanced Vaishnavas. So, the Guru principle is necessary, and Srila Madhusudan Maharaj, he's demonstrated that in his life, of always wanting to be under the guidance of his God brothers, you see. And even whatever service he was going to do, to consult with them. So, in this way, he substantiated the principle that Vaishnava Dharma is to be observed while remaining under the guidance of senior devotees, and that one cannot become steadfast in Vaishnava Dharma while remaining independent and unrestrained. Means that you will not be able to become steadfast in Vaishnava Dharma when you always want to be unrestrained, do your own thing, like that. Now, the next section is titled, Regarding His God Brother as a manifestation of Sri Guru. Some Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnavas, they maintain, what is a Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnava? Yes, they call it Saraswat Gaudiya. So some Saraswat Gaudiya Vaishnavas maintain that while reciting the Jayadvani, or even in general, the term Om Vishnu Pad only in conjunction with the name of one's Diksha Guru and no one else, not even one's Siksha Guru. However, I always personally witnessed Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, whom I recognize as an authentic guru in our line of spiritual masters, that he would use this honorific Om Vishnupad before uttering the name of his senior godbrother Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, who granted him the sannyas mantra and whom he regarded as his Siksha Guru. Srila Maharaj used to say, since Diksha Guru and Siksha Guru are considered non-different in tattva, it is only proper to include Om Vishnupad before both their names. In fact, it would be improper not to do so, because he has fully internalized Srila Prabhupada's exemplary character, conduct, teachings, and conceptions. I consider Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj to be like a second manifestation of Srila Prabhupada. This is what he told. And therefore, I feel he is worthy of the title Om Vishnupad. Very beautiful this is. Very beautiful. Even Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, who was like 9 years, practically 8 or 9 years senior to Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj when he joined the Gaudiya Math, he used to consider him his Siksha Guru. So Sri Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj's fathomless surrender to one of his own godbrothers is exemplary. This further signifies and prominently establishes his highly evolved disposition, Vaishnava humility. Next section is called his considerate and gentle nature. When Guru Maharaj planned for the deities of the Kolkata branch of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math to enter their newly constructed room on the auspicious day of Sri Krishna's Pushya Abhishek, the showering of flowers, then he invited almost all his prominent godbrothers, including Sri Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, to participate in a 5-day festival in celebration of the occasion. When Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj arrived at the Math, he called me to his room and softly he asked, "You won't be displeased if I point out a mistake you have made, will you?" How gentle-natured he was. "Of course not, Maharaj," I said. "In fact, I would be grateful to be given the chance to make amends. Please tell me what I have done wrong." And Srila Maharaj then pointed at the walls of the room. He said, "You have not put hooks on the walls to tie up a mosquito net," he said. "Maharaj," I said, "I did not have hooks installed, as they would have interfered with the plastering work that was happening. But now that the work has been completed, I will arrange for hooks to be installed right away." So despite Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj's exalted stature, he would never speak to anyone in a raised tone. He was very mindful and considerate in his dealings with junior devotees. And he was always careful not to hurt anyone with his words. Next section, his deep respect for Guru Maharaj. I'm appreciating this so much. So much.
Maharaj,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm a little
Yeah,
bit-
okay.
I have to go at 8, So I can,
Okay,
because
so
it's so nice, so I can just do arti behind the curtains. Because he's actually very, very nice. So it's okay, I can just do arti behind.
what do you all want to do? You want to end here
No.
and attend the artik, or do you want him to do the artik behind the curtain?
Arti behind the curtain.
Arctic behind the curtain.
How about the curtains open and arti going on?
You can't do that.
Okay.
If they're open, you have to stop what you're doing and you have to attend and sing
Isn't
the artik.
Harikatha allowed?
No.
No?
No.
I thought it was.
No, not in this circumstance.
No, but this is very, very relishable.
Let me just see how much more. Yeah, there's a considerable amount. So it will be very beneficial for us on this day before Srila Bhaktivedanta Bharati Goswami Maharaj. Actually, this is a warm-up.
Yes,
Because
definitely.
we're hearing his own glorification. Yeah. Okay. Well, and alright. So that's what we'll do.
Yeah, I can do it behind.
Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Shri Shri Radha Govinda Jiu Ki Jai Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sudarshan Chakra Jiu Ki Jai Shri Nitai Gauranga Ki Jai Shri Giriraj Govardhana Ki Jai Shri Bhakti Vignanashana Shri Nishinga Bhagavana Ki Jai Tidiya Shubha Sandhya Artik Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi. Just finding the section again. His considerate and gentle nature. The next section is called his deep respect for Guru Maharaj, Bhaktidayata Madhav Goswami Maharaj. One day, during a festival at the Hyderabad branch of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, I witnessed a friendly, humorous conversation between Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj and Sri Srimad Bhakti Vikas Rishikesh Goswami Maharaj. As they remembered their times together during Srila Prabhupada's manifest presence, they affectionately teased each other, saying things like, "It was your fault I couldn't perform Braj Mandala Parikrama." They accused each other, saying, "You did this and you did that." However, I was amazed to see that as soon as Guru Maharaj walked in the room, their joking immediately subsided, and they began to discuss amongst themselves in a disciplined manner. Then, once Guru Maharaj left the room, they returned to their fun. From their conduct, I understood that although Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj and Srila Rishikesh Goswami Maharaj behaved as typical friends with one another, they possessed a reverential respect for Guru Maharaj, Bhaktidayata Goswami, Bhaktidayata Madhav Goswami. Next section is called Accomplishing His Service Through the Most Appropriate Means. I personally witnessed that Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj would interact with Guru Maharaj in various different ways according to time, place, and circumstance. Once at Sri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj's Mat in Navadvip, on the occasion of Sri Jagannath Mishra Mahotsav, the day after Sri Gaur Purnima. So he addressed Guru Maharaj as if he were complaining. He said, "You have come late," he said. "Is it appropriate to make everyone wait for you? Please do not be late again." This is Madhusudan Maharaj telling to Bhaktidayata Madhav Goswami Maharaj. And another time, in Sri Jagannath Puri, he praised Guru Maharaj, saying, "No one else has been able to render the same unique service as you have. By your grace, we are fortunate enough to have gathered here today at the appearance place of Srila Prabhupada. And yet another time, he said to Guru Maharaj, during an explanation of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is only by following every instruction of the Grantha Bhagavat that one can become a Bhakta Bhagavat. So the key to understanding the import of these different modes of behavior is found in a kirtan of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He says, Antare bahire sama vyavahar amani manada havo. So this means that there will be no disparity shall remain between my internal and my external behavior. Antare bahire means internal and external. Sama vyavahara, this behavior, amani manadahavo. I shall not desire honor for myself, and I shall instead offer respect to others. In other words, Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj would conduct himself according to the demands of service. Whether it was teaching, instructing, praising, or chastising, he always chose the means that would best accomplish the pleasure of Sri Hari, Guru, and the Vaishnavas. Wow, such a personality. Next section is called his recognition of my cow seva. So when Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj once saw the effulgent bodies of the cows at our Mayapur branch of Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, he asked me, who serves these cows? Then I replied, I do, Maharajji. Well, what is your name? He asked. Narottam Brahmachari. No, I want to know the surname that you used prior to joining the Math. Then I said, I was previously known as Narottam Chakravarti. Chakravarti, you say? Yes. Oh, you have come from a Brahmin family, and you definitely possess the qualities befitting Vaishnavas, who are the true Brahmanas. This is why you are serving these cows so nicely. Due to possessing an inferiority complex, one of my disciples refuses to serve the cows in our Math. He says, I'm a Brahmin, I am a brahmachari. I should serve Thakurji. Why should I serve cows? Well, I can plainly see that Sri Madhav Maharaj knows very well whom to engage in which services. Yes. Actually, it came to my mind. They both had the same brahmachari names.
Yeah.
Srila Bharati Maharaj, and
Brahmachari.
yes, and Madhusudan Maharaj.
Narottam Brahmachari.
Well, his was Narottam and his was Narottam. Then the next section is called A Senior God Brothers Appreciation. On the instruction of Sri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sri Maharaj, Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj led Sri Navadvip Dham Parikrama from Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math for many years. And also he served as the editor of the Math's Bengali magazine that was titled Sri Gaudiya Darshan. Srila Sridhar Goswami Maharaj would say, quote, servants are plentiful, but it is a matter of great fortune to find devotees like Srila Madhusudan Maharaj who are willing to accept full responsibility for a task and achieve it. It is solely because of him that I need not worry about many things, and I can perform my bhajan in peace. Then the next section is titled His Appreciation of Guru Maharaj's Determination. On the occasion of Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja in 1978, Guru Maharaj organized a grand festival at Srila Prabhupada's newly acquired appearance place in Puri. So that's the first year, 1978. My Srila Prabhupada departed just before that, in end of 77. So, and yes, Srila Madhav Goswami Maharaj had so much determination to get that property. So, on the occasion of Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja Day in 1978, Guru Maharaj organized a grand festival at Srila Prabhupada's newly acquired appearance place in Puri. Have you ever been there? To that mutt?
Are there any Westerners there for that occasion?
You know what? I think that our Bhagavad Maharaj was there.
Wow.
Because he told me. He personally met and heard from Srila Madhav Goswami Maharaj. Yes, he told me. He even had some little exchange with him. Because Bhagavad Maharaj was at that time staying in Bhubaneswar and living with and serving Gaur Govinda Maharaj and that project. So he was actually there at that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So, when Srila Madhav, maybe there were others also, I don't know. There could have been other ISKCON devotees, but possibly not.
Maybe Jayapataka.
Maybe, but you know, I don't know. Because, I mean, this was just the very beginning. You know, the first festival that they had there, they hadn't even really installed the deities and everything like that. And it was a very, you know, it was like a exclusive Gaudiya Math event. And there were practically no devotees in Jagannath Puri. And even in Bhubaneswar, there were practically none Westerners at that time. You know, they barely even had built the mud huts at that time, you know. So I tend to think that, you know, there was no ISKCON temple in Puri at that time. I don't think there were others, but we can find out from Bhagavad Maharaj. Anyway, so when Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj addressed the assembly at this occasion, he said, "We disciples of Srila Prabhupada are many, but other than Sri Madhav Maharaj, not one of us attempted to preserve Srila Prabhupada's glorious appearance place. Although many disciples of Srila Prabhupada had ample means at their disposal, they did nothing. What Sri Madhav Maharaj lacked in financial resources, he made up for in ardent determination. It was by this determination that he managed to accomplish the impossible." So after Guru Maharaj manifested his disappearance pastime, I also recall the way that Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj came forward to impart some much needed inspiration when the deities of Srila Prabhupada, Sriman Mahaprabhu, and the Sri Sri Radha Nayana Mani were installed in the newly established mutt. This is a picture of him, by the way. Madhusudan. Bhakti Kamala Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. I had to go to the actual page. So, okay. Okay, that's the end actually of the article, because sometimes they have only part of the article and then you go to the link. So this is the end of that article, and he's mentioning here that after Srila Madhav Goswami Maharaj's disappearance pastime, then Srila Bharati Maharaj, he recalls, I've heard him mention this time that Srila Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj came forward to impart some very much needed inspiration. Because he departed, Sri Madhav Goswami Maharaj departed before the deities could be installed. Right? Yeah. So Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj, he came and then he established much, and he gave much needed inspiration when the deities were installed in the newly established mutt. Yes, so in this way, a very auspicious discussion, very auspicious discussion was had this evening to hear about the Siksha Guru of my Siksha Guru and a very exalted disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And we're so blessed. We're so blessed that Srila Bhaktivigyan Bharati Maharaj has given us. I say this every year. That if he would not have done this, all would have been lost. It was such an important contribution that he made. You know, no one else could have done this, and no one else who's living currently could do this. Only the person who lived in the period that he lived and associated with these personalities and had all these exchanges would be able to preserve those memories. And if he had not spoken this, and these being made into books, the whole future generations of the devotees throughout the world would never have the opportunity to understand how exalted these disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur actually were. It's a sad fact, but in course of time it will be corrected, that in ISKCON there were so many offenses being made to these disciples, and a very negative and almost condescending attitude that they disregarded so much. And they had like a blanket attitude of, oh, Gaudiya Mat, like this, very offensive. But Srila Bhaktivigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, he did actually miraculous, that Krishna enabled him to make this contribution in his final days, in his final years on the planet, that all these discussions were recorded, and then these books were produced from his memories, his recordings, and then he also was able to edit them, and a lot of thanks also goes to the disciple of Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj and Gurudev, Madhava Priya Prabhu, who was his personal servant and like secretary in those final years. He actually told him, Srila Bharati Maharaj told him, you will have to stay with me. You cannot go. You will have to stay. And he followed that order for like something like 5 years, in those final time periods. So, and now there's such a wonderful website being produced by his disciples, particularly Ambarish Prabhu and his wife Labanga Manjari, I think that's her name. And they've taken care of this Vishuddha Chaitanya Bani website. They've also inaugurated this incredible project of remastering or editing and remastering and redoing the sound files of all of Srila Gurudev Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj's lectures. Something like 10,000 lectures. And approaching his appearance day, which is in 2021, in January.
They had that presentation at the festival last year.
Yeah.
It was impressive.
Yeah.
The way they were able to restore some of those audio.
Right. Yes.
So they're doing amazing.
Yeah, I just hope that everything proceeds in spite of the certain things prevailing right now. I hope everything proceeds. But Yeah, I just have that in my heart. And because I was so fortunate to have his personal association in those final, maybe the last 3 years, because he would come into Jagannath Puri in the winter, and we would go at the end of our evening program, then we would get in rickshaws and go over to the birthplace of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati every night, and we would hear from him. There was not the best translation, but nevertheless, just to be with him and to hear a less than adequate translation still was very, very powerful. And then the next year, he actually he withdrew from their society, and he went independently, and then he began to initiate. And so many fortunate jivas were initiated by him. And I personally was feeling so comforted by his presence on the planet. Because after Gurudev, he was another person of that stature. And for me, it was a very comforting thing. And I remember in the final time that I saw him at, maybe it was in Mayapur. Yeah, it was in Mayapur. I was thinking it was the Kartik before. What was his date of departure?
September, I forget, I think September 15th, around that time.
Right, just before Kartik.
Yeah.
Yes. Of which year?
2017.
2017. So 2016, he was in our Gopinath Bhavan in 2016. Is that when you went?
That's when I got it.
During Kartik.
Yeah,
Right.
gave discourses there and between.
And also the Gopinath Gaudiya Math at first, but then he moved over there, and he was there, I think, about 2 weeks, perhaps.
That was
Yeah, and that temple room completely filled up with devotees. So many faces I never saw before. Western devotees, tons of Western devotees. They had come, I think, a lot of them from ISKCON, And to be in that temple room, in his presence, was very powerful. Very powerful. So then the final time was in Mayapur, where they had established his room, which is now his samadhi, which he designed, by the way. He designed it to become his samadhi as well. And actually, Padmanabha Maharaj did a very great seva to him, I'll tell you what the seva was. That piece of land, which is just near to, is it Gopinath Gaudiya Math or Chaitanya, Chaitanya Gaudiya Math? Gopinath, that's right. Gopinath Gaudiya Math, across the street.
Chaitanya Gaudiya Math.
Yes, so that property had been sold to an ISKCON devotee who was investing, and he wanted to tear it down and make it into like a hotel or whatever. And when Bodhayan Raj found out that that property had been sold to an ISKCON devotee who was going to tear it down, then he approached that devotee. And he said, this is the place of our Guru Varga, because there's an actual samadhi of one of the disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati there. Wow. In that place. It was a very small little mutt, this one disciple. So his samadhi is there. And he told that devotee, we cannot allow that you will tear this down. So I will buy this land back from you. So that ISKCON devotee sold it to him for twice the amount. Yeah. But at any rate, that very place, was the place which he then gave such wonderful seva to Srila Bharati Maharaj that he gave him his place there. That for however long he would live on the planet, that's his room, right there. And that's where he, in the facing the courtyard, which filled up every night with at least a couple of hundred devotees in that small courtyard, you know. And he was sitting on like an office chair. They would wheel him up to the doorway, and then just a little bit out of the doorway and put some pillows for his feet, and he would give class. And then Madhava Priya would give a wonderful, you know, recap of it in English for everyone there. So maybe I attended maybe 5 or 6 evening lectures at that time. And that was the final time that I had his holy darshan. But he made he's still making a very deep impression through his books, you know. Anyway, tomorrow is a very auspicious day, Shri Katha, and the appearance day of Nitya Lila Pravishto Vishnupad Paramahansa Asto Tarasata Sri Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj. So tomorrow we will have a festival, and so many persons will remember. We'll also hear some of his own words. I'll select some appropriate text to be read. Everything that he spoke, it was always so instructive. Very, very to the point. Tomorrow I'll tell when I first met him, my first meeting with him.
All right.
Okay. So you're all coming for the program? Because it's going to start tomorrow. Kirtan is going to start at 10 o'clock.
He tried to say something also again.
Oh, okay. He always remembers. That's good. He reminds. What was the thing you wanted to say?
Well, I just wanted to mention that Madhusudana Maharaj actually met Prabhupada.
Yes.
And actually...
Which Prabhupada? Our Prabhupada?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that he used to... I'm speaking about Bhakti Prabhupada.
Where did you hear this?
In Mullah Prakriti's book.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One disciple was telling
Yes,
about this.
yes, yes.
And this disciple said that Bhakti Madhusudana Maharaj said once that when he was a brahmachari with Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhakti Siddhanta actually wanted to send him to the West because he spoke English.
Yes.
The topic came up like, who will go to the West?
Right.
And Bhakti Siddhanta said, maybe I'll send Narottama Brahmachari. And Narottama Brahmachari said, oh Prabhupada, Gurudev, please don't send me, please don't send me. Because,
oh, yes.
Because if I cannot fulfill this instruction, then I will have failed you. And Bhakti Siddhanta said, no, that's fine, you don't have to do it. And then the next day, the same conversation came up again.
Yes.
And Narottama Brahmachari, Madhusudana Maharaj remembered. And Bhakti Saraswati Thakur said, Abai will go. Abai Babu will go to the West.
Yes, he'll do it. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention that.
Very nice. Thank you. Thank you. I want to reference that book actually and read that directly because I haven't read it in many years. But that particular exchange, because you know every year at this time of the year, it's getting closer and closer to the epic journey. Do you know what the epic journey is? You don't know what the epic journey is? Huh?
Come back to Godhead?
No. Nityananda Shakti Avesh Avatar came across the ocean to save us. And the day of his launching was the day after Baladev Purnima, Guru Tattva. So that every year, now we have it in our Vaishnava calendar, I'm in a certain mood during that 35 days, whatever it was, of his crossing on the Jaladuta. So I get very to know all the Katha connected with Srila Prabhupada's coming to the West. And also during that time, I'm going to continue reading Srimati Shamarani Didi's book. I've been saving it for the right time to relish it. So Prabhupada Katha. From that time, there will be so many days, and there are also various festivals during that time. Prabhupada's appearance day, on the day after Janmashtami, then Radhastami, and so Srila Prabhupada was on the Jaladuta for those festivals. So every year I mark that on the calendar, and the day that he arrived in Boston Harbor. So much nectar. Vaishnava Katha. So sweet, so nectar. Very fortunate. But we will understand our good fortune the more that we go deeply into what they've given us in their books. And also watching their videos. We shouldn't waste our by allowing days and days to go by without relishing the nectar of the pure Vaishnavas. We're in an era where we have this technology at our fingertips. And at any moment, we can hear their lectures, their actual voices, see them even in video, and we can just absorb the transcendental nectar books that they've given to us. So we're so wealthy. We're like the most wealthy people in the whole entire world. Yes, literally. We're the most wealthy people because we have all of this transcendental knowledge, nectar, Vaishnava Sangha, everything we have. But we have to take advantage of it, isn't it? Yes. And as we do more and more, we will see the result. We will feel the result. Okay, so we didn't get to attend the Artik, so we have to chant Kirtan for a few minutes, because after every Harikatha, you have to chant Krishna's names. Do you know why? In the Gaudiya Mat, after every Katha, there must be Kirtan with Krishna Nam. Do you know why? Because Krishna has come in the form of Harikatha. Krishna has come. So you have to chant his names at the conclusion. You never heard that before? Yes. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, bolo Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, oh Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Srimati Tulsi Maharaj. Maharani ki jai, Tulsi Parikrama ki jai. We can bring Tulsi. Om Brindai Tulsi Devai, Priyai Keshavasya cha, Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi, Satyavachai Namo Namaha. We'll do the Tulsi Parikrama and Kirtan. Jai. No.
Like this?
No, here.
Like this?
Yeah, with your hand there,
Mm-hmm.
your hand here. But it won't come apart.
Oh, it doesn't.
That's right. I discovered that.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. Jai Shrimati Tulsi Maharani ki jai. Om Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavachai. Namo Namo Tulasi Krishna Priyasi Namo Namo Radha Krishna Nitya Seva Jai Srimati Tulsi Maharani ki, Srimati Brinda Devi ki, Sri Vrindavan Dhama ki. Now all together. Jai Jai Shri Radhe. Om Vrindai Tulsi Devai Jai Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Pradini Satyavajaya Namo Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasinubhyascha Patitanam Vaishnaveyo Hare Krishna. So you know the time tomorrow for our program?
10:30.
Yeah.
10:30 a.m.
That'll be good. Okay.
Perhaps you have time 10:30 tomorrow a.m. Otherwise, usually in the evening.
Just a half an hour of kirtan. Maybe they'll even come earlier than 10:30 for starting the kirtan. But, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Okay.